Board.
I'm looking at the audience, and all I see is empty chairs except for two staff people and a lady sitting way in the back.
She's staff too.
HR.
Oh, that's right. So it's all staff. So we'll go beyond the citizens present for comments, and we'll get to the minutes of a series of meetings. We have the meetings of June 8th, 2015, July 13, 2015, August 10th, 2015, September 14, 2015, October 26, 2015, and November 9, 2015. Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes, or is there a motion?
Mr. Chair, I found a few little typos. On the first meeting, June 8th, the top of the second page, it says the exhaust fan for commercial fan. I think that was referring to the commercial kitchen. On the July 13th meeting, I looked at the recording, and Chairman Sprague was chairing that meeting, not agency member Chester Norikis. On November 9th meeting, under the first public hearing, the first paragraph, it refers to city insurance services. I believe that's the name of that company is City County Insurance Services.
That's correct.
And I have pointed these out to the city recorder. She's made the changes.
Okay. Any other changes or additions to the minutes? If not, I would seek.
I would move that we approve the minutes of June 8th, July 13th, August 10th, September 14th, October 26th, November 9th, as corrected.
All 2015.
Yes.
Second. There's a second. Any discussion? Just all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. It's time for an election of agency chair and vice chair. I would open nominations for the chair for this coming year.
Mr. Chair, I'd nominate Susan Walke for chairperson.
Okay, are there any other nominations? Hearing none. Is there a motion then to elect Susan Walke
as chair of the Urban Renewal Agency by acclamation?
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? You are the new chair.
Thank you.
Do you want to take over?
Sure.
You may.
Okay, thank you.
That's the script to follow
Okay.
there.
Beat it, Roger.
So,
Beat it.
It was a tough campaign, but
so I open nominations for vice chair.
How about Roger?
who wants it?
Are you nominating Roger for vice chair?
Yes.
I should probably.
I'd second that.
Okay. Any other nominations?
Move nominations be closed.
Second.
And it's been moved and seconded that nominations be closed. All in favor?
Aye.
I abstain.
To close. So then the
motion.
the election, the actual vote on the election.
Yeah. Do we have a motion to?
To approve
approve the nomination or elect
The election.
for the election,
yeah.
for vice chair Roger Sprague.
In a second.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that Roger Sprague is elected Vice Chair of the Urban Renewal Agency for the upcoming year. All those in favor?
Aye.
Roger, the Vice Chair.
I abstain.
I've got a story about that one of these days.
Do I want to hear it?
Well, it's a voting, it's actually a voting story. I'll be real brief. I mean, we're running a little bit fast. Years ago in a town named the Dalles, there were two gentlemen running for mayor, and being the kind of guys that they were, and that was in the days when you would walk up and you'd actually tell them who you were voting for. And so, being the gentlemen they were, each time they would say, well, I would vote for, and the other guy would say, I'll vote for the other guy. After 4 ballots, and they were tied, they stepped up, and one gentleman, who I've totally forgotten his name, said, I vote for Vic Trevitt. And Vic Trevitt says, and I'll vote for the best man, Vic Trevitt. And won. So one vote does count.
That's right. Okay, next item on the agenda is loan approvals. We'll have staff present the remaining special orders of business.
Sorry
Good
about
evening.
that.
No, that's okay.
I don't know about these new mics. Okay. All right. So we've got a couple of facade improvement loans that are before you for approval this evening. And just for the listening audience, to remind them that we do have a facade improvement loan program for commercial buildings that are located within the Urban Renewal District. The funds are to assist in alleviating blight conditions, improve building structures, and complement local design characteristics. The program is 0% interest with loan terms up to 10 years. And these two applications were received and sent along to our bank and escrow company to complete the paperwork and assessment. The work is now done, and they made a positive recommendation for both loans. The loan committee met on Monday, December 14th, to discuss these and review them, and they found them favorable, which is why they are now forwarded to you for consideration. There are 2 loans. One is for $150,000. As you might remember, last year we changed the program guideline to, it used to be a loan request was for $75,000, but someone could in another year apply for another $75,000. We were finding that there was a lot of extra hurdles for folks that really wanted to get those 2 loans on one project to make more significant improvements. And so in some cases where we find that people are looking to do significant improvements, then we have the ability now to do $150,000 on the first request. So that this is the first of those loans that we'll be doing in that case. The second loan is for $5,000 on a $15,000 project. They do have the other financing already in place, and it's for a nonprofit building loan, and they're for new windows, awnings, siding, roof, and signage. So pretty much the traditional facade improvement. Are there any questions on these?
Just curious as to why they're redacted.
They're redacted for requirements of personal information that we have with our loan processing. So where there's
Oh, and I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Madam Chair. It was rude. I apologize.
Right. Where there's information that is available to the public, that information is what we can disclose, but we have been advised to just keep it all anonymous and just talk more generally about the building being commercial and how many square feet and what the work is going to be, because we can't sift through all of the information to see what's public and what is not public with LLCs and who owns what and stuff like that. So in the cases of the loan programs for the last couple of years, we've just decided to keep it anonymous so that, you know, it's a small town and we don't want to air people's financial laundry. So we just have it all redacted now.
Okay, maybe I'm just not smart enough to understand this. I do understand privacy and things like that, but we're being asked to vote on something. and I don't know exactly what it is I'm voting for.
Yeah, there are two loan requests, and they're both traditional facade improvement.
I can see that, but I don't know
Yeah.
who, and it seems to me that's an important part of
And that's
process.
that's what the loan committee serves as the general thumbs up, based on the financial information that comes from our outside loan officer. So it sounds a little cryptic, but there's a reason why we have all these kind of securities in place.
I understand those.
So, but you're welcome to stop by if you have questions, and I can go into more detail on them.
But would I know who applied for these loans if I came by? Would I ever know who applied for these loans?
Madam Chair.
Not-
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Are you done?
Yes, please.
I think who can't be a criteria for evaluation.
That's right.
You're either qualified or you're not qualified. So I think that's an inappropriate, with all due respect, thing for any of us to ask is who is it? Because what difference does it make? If they're qualified, if their name's Ted Bundy, they're qualified, so.
I think it wouldn't matter if somebody was Ted Bundy asking for this. That would make it.
Maybe he's not the same Ted Bundy.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I move that we approve both the loans that have been presented to us.
I second.
Been moved and seconded that the loans be approved. Roll call?
Ward,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Sprague,
Yes.
and Wolke.
Yes.
Motion carries.
And again, Madam Chair, I apologize for not requesting permission. I'll get used to that.
And the next item is a bid award for Nelscott Southwest 35th Street Parking Lot, Phase 2.
Thank you. So this is just to present the bid award request to construct the second phase of the parking lot in the Nelscott District, which will connect it with the recent ODOT Highway 101 improvement project, which we're glad has wrapped up. Last month, staff received 4 bids for construction, which were checked for accuracy and completeness. RK Concrete out of Otis, Oregon is the low bidder. The bid results are attached as Exhibit A. The award of bid is before you. I'm here to answer any questions. I've also got a few slides to show you. Thank you. Here's an aerial of the project, which I know you're all familiar with, but just for our folks out there watching the meeting. It's on the corner of Southwest 35th Street and Highway 101. The project basically will just fill in some gravel area and relocate an ADA parking space, which right now is where it's kind of in the middle of the property, which that ADA space will move to the side, and then a drive lane will be constructed in between the existing parking lot and the sidewalk that ODOT just finished, which is at the highway. Here's a shot of the bid results. The base bid is, what we're requesting for the bid is the base bid plus the bid alternate number 2, which is the painted directional arrows, which is a total in the amount of $54,371. And so they came in fairly close, except for one from out of town. And we appreciate the time everyone took to put their bids together. This is a photograph of how it is now. And this is standing on 35th Street looking up towards the highway. You can see there's the ODOT sidewalk going up towards the highway and the parking area. This is the gravel area in between our parking lot and the ODOT project. This shows, again, another angle where the ADA space is now, next to the yellow bollards. which will be relocated basically where the wooden bench is. And then the wooden bench will be relocated to the other side of the parking lot.
Allison, can you go back to that first slide that shows the, keep going, one more. There. I'm seeing an arrow pointing north, and the parking lot is south.
Yes.
But the other arrows are pointing out now, and we certainly can't have any northbound traffic in that strip there, can we?
We can. Well, no, not in the strip. So this is just the parking lot with a drive lane going northbound, you're right. But it will connect to the frontage road, the historic frontage road in front of the businesses, which is going southbound. So basically, the parking lot traffic and the frontage road traffic will be converging together, and then people can exit onto the highway. And this is per ODOT's design.
Trying to figure out how you can make a right turn at the end of that where that arrow is there and converge and get onto Highway 101. That just seems like it's awfully tight.
Yeah, it would be two right turns, and you're right, they would be a little bit tight, but per ODOT, this is their preferred permitted.
It would seem to me that it would be safer just to have one way in from the drive-through parking lot and into the new parking lot, rather than having a head-to-head and what have you. That just doesn't feel comfortable for me.
Councilor Sprague, that does make sense. However, the design is being dictated by ODOT.
That always doesn't make sense either.
Yeah, we've had several conversations about this over the last couple of years, and this is what they are approving.
Well, I guess we can always have it changed later on after a few head-ons.
Madam Chair? Thanks. I know you folks eat at La Roca a lot, as do I. But I've noticed as you're coming off of 101, heading north, taking a left on 32nd to reach that, it's built out so much that if you have a pickup, you can't make that corner. You almost have to make a U-turn. I don't know if you've experienced that or anyone else has brought that up.
Yeah, there were lots of discussions about how to safely get people into the Nell Scott Strip businesses, and there are 2 or 3 different options. So folks can either turn at 35th and go into the parking lot, which would be the most south of the strip. Folks can also make a right onto 35th and then safely find room to do kind of a 3-point turn into that old part of 35th and kind of come back through the intersection, making a southbound movement onto the intersection to come in, or they can make a left at the light onto southwest 35th. Sorry, I hope I'm explaining that correctly. Make a left at the light and then park in the parking lot, which is on 35th on the north part of the Nell Scott Strip.
That's 32nd, isn't it? Where the light is?
Yes, 32nd. Thank you. Yeah. So there are a few ways to navigate. It's not, there aren't as many options as before, but the traffic movements are more controlled, and the idea is that it's going to be safer to have more controlled movements through this area. So.
Actually, there was a discussion about that with ODOT, and ODOT came back and said, well, if people were making that left turn trying to get in there, then it's finable, and that it would have to be watched by the police department.
Yeah, I think.
But it's not marked.
I think you're right. It is kind of technically a U-turn if you, so.
But less posted U-turns are allowed.
I don't think so.
I think so. No?
But, Madam Chairman, from
Yes.
Councilor Ward, from the get-go, that has been, not that we agreed with it, but clearly stated that you're not going to be able to turn into the parking in front of the businesses from that left-hand lane. And that was, for me anyway, that was part of the desire than to make sure we got the parking lot on 35th to help bleed some of those off early into and near the businesses. Otherwise, you're right, staff is correct, you have to turn down 32nd, Dewey, Huey, and the Eagles, and come back, or park at the public parking down by the restrooms and come back.
Madam Chairman, it is accurate also that ODOT is not going to change the design on that. They're not going to extend the island or anything like that to prohibit that. They have said it will become an enforcement issue for our police department.
So, Madam Chairman, am I to understand that the bid then is the 54,146 and item number 2, the 225 to it, and that's what we're asking for against a remaining budget of $63,250?
That's correct.
So we're under our estimate. Great, okay.
So I had a question. Are we not doing the wood deck walkway or the concrete sidewalk? Or are those already?
Yeah, that's staff's recommendation, because if you can't do one without the other. The concrete walk and the wooden walkway are essentially two components of one walkway, and together they would increase the price of the overall project significantly. The wooden walkway that we did in Phase 1 was about $8,000, and this one was much more. So we are suggesting that, you know, it's completely up to you if you'd like to do it, but that's not what staff's recommending.
So there is a wood walkway there now.
There is one there now, yes, and it's going to, when the ADA space moves, it will be near the ADA space.
I walked on it in December when it was cold and wet, and it was a little slippery. Concerned me.
Madam Chairman, I'd move to approve staff's recommendation to award the project with bid alternative number 2 in the total amount of $54,371 to, what is it, RK Concrete?
Second the motion.
Been moved and seconded to award the bid to RK Concrete in the amount of $54,371. Does that include the contingency? Or is there?
No, it doesn't include contingency, but I think our city attorney, how does that, I didn't include that in here. Isn't that, if it's within some amount, it's?
I believe that the rules are if it's as stated in the contract, and if not stated, we have ours is 10%.
And our contract is using the current template, so it would be included in that contract.
Thank you.
Actually, Madam Chairman, I see that I jumped the gun because there's a resolution that'll take care of this rather than a motion.
Let's see. Okay.
Sorry, I'll withdraw my motion.
All right.
And
Go
wait,
to second.
and wait for the
We will
resolution.
wait for a minute and a half till we get there. Did you have more of a presentation?
Don't, unless you have any other questions.
Madam Chair, I do just briefly. You raised a concern about a slippery deck. Allison acknowledged it, or at least
Made a note.
did we get an answer to what your question was? Do you want to see some treatment on that? Is it a big enough concern to talk about it now?
It's been treated, to be water resistant and reduce maintenance over time by having that treatment, but it's tough in this climate. There aren't any trees that are dropping leaves on it, so it's just a matter of weather condition, but.
I'm just glad we're not putting in another wooden deck.
And I did write down the comment, so we'll consider
Okay.
that for future projects.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
There's no public hearings. Next item is resolutions. Do I hear a motion to approve the resolution UR 2016-01?
Move to approve.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve resolution UR 2016-01. We have a roll call, please.
Williams,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Sprague,
Yes.
Walke,
Yes.
Ward,
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Are there any comments from agency members this evening? Any further comments? Okay. And right on time, we're adjourned.
How's that?
Oh, thank you.